What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. An interesting situation is developing with Bruce Willis. Now, Bruce Willis, as far as I know, maybe, before I was covering Hollywood insanity, has really basically kept his head down over the years, creating some great popcorn films from the Die Hard series to even Unbreakable, which I really liked. I actually really liked all those M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong. It was like, what, Glass, and then the other one, there was actually a decent trilogy. Maybe people think, I don't know, I liked them. But that's neither here nor there. As he's gotten older, he has been diagnosed with something called aphasia, which I didn't really know much about. But essentially, it's the loss of ability to not only understand but also express speech. It's caused by some level of brain damage. It essentially affects the way you communicate. For an actor, well, really for any human being, this would be extraordinarily difficult. For an actor, it means your career is over. Now, he had stepped away from acting, and there's several interesting articles out. Inside Hollywood's shameful exploitation of Bruce Willis is just so sad. This is a lot like what we saw with, Stan Lee in his ears, at least what is being claimed. Now, Bruce Willis's lawyer has responded, but let's get into the claims. Bruce Willis was exploited by movie producers who kept casting him in films even though he wasn't able to even remember his lines or perform because of his aphasia, new report claims. The LA Times expose on movie producer Randall Emmett accused the 51-year-old of defrauding investors, rampant use of things, tackling his ex-fiancée, Vanderpump Rules don't care about any of that, and offering acting roles for favors. You mean the casting couch? It's something that's been going on forever. Sources also said that Emmett was happy to keep attaching Willis's names to films even as the action hero stumbled. In September 2020, Emmett was directing Willis, who is now 67, in Midnight in the Switchgrass, and couldn't get the actor to kick in a door, even with the help of a stunt coordinator, according to several crew members. In frustration, he left the set, and a confused Bruce Willis asked, "Did I do something wrong?" Quote, "You would have to be blind not see him struggling," Alicia Haverland said, a property manager on the film. That evening, Emmett allegedly called his then fiance, Kent, in tears, saying, "I can't do this anymore," Kent said. "It's just so sad. Bruce can't remember any of his lines. He doesn't even know where he is." But he didn't stop working with Bruce Willis. After that phone call, he went on to make 5 more action movies with Willis and allegedly used the A-lister as a cash cow for Emmett Furla Oasis, a former production company with partner George Furla. Wow. I actually really like Bruce Willis. I didn't know about this film. I probably would have wanted to see it, but now it kind of casts a shadow of it. When the pair would need an infusion of money or to pay off debts, they'd discuss making another BS Bruce Willis movie, according to a former assistant. The numerous claims in the LA Times story have been denied by Emmett. He said the teary conversation with Kent did not take place, and that he was unaware of Willis's declining health in a statement provided to the Post. That seems extraordinarily unlikely. His spokesperson, Sally Hoffmeister, said that Randall is very proud of the work he and Bruce Willis have done over the past 15 years. In every single movie they have worked on together, Bruce enjoyed being on set, playing golf, going to dinners, and communicating with the crew. If Bruce had not wanted to be on set, he wouldn't have been there. Willis is one of the greatest actors of his time and sought after by multiple production companies until his recent retirement. Randall counts him as one of his closest friends. Emmett carved out a niche in Tinseltown, producing bad movies with aging actors such as Sylvester Stallone, Al Pacino, and Willis, the latter of whom reportedly made $2 million for 2 days' work, while domestically they were straight-to-DVD flops. The flicks would be financial successes in international markets. The Miami native rose through the showbiz ranks with sheer hustle, becoming the first part of Mark Wahlberg's real-life entourage as an assistant, blah, 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 blah. There was then a 2019 beef with 50 Cent, who loaned Emmett, a producer on his show, Power, $1 million. The rapper said that he was late to repay the debt and roasted Emmett Kent on social media, The pair soon settled, but the candy shop artist mocked his old adversary on Instagram after the claims of him exploiting Bruce Willis were published. Beginning in 2006, Willis appeared in 24 EFO films. Wow, 24 films? I can't even believe that. I didn't think he's in anywhere near that number of movies. Even as his health was declining, on Wrong Place, one of the Sixth Sense star's last movies, he spent 2 days on set in Alabama where he was fed lines through an earpiece. Says Manska recalled that Willis always had aid by his side. However, she added, when nobody from Bruce's team was around, the crew would say how sad we were to see him in that state. Willis's attorney, Marty Singer, declined an interview on the star's behalf. But the lawyer defended Willis's work with Emmett. My client continued to working after his medical diagnosis because he wanted to work and he was able to do so, just like many others diagnosed with aphasia who are capable of continuing to do work. Singer said, adding that the actor brought jobs to people during the lockdowns. Yeah, well, I don't think that necessarily exonerates the people of kind of forcing him to work. Now, maybe he wanted to make sure he could leave as much money as humanly possible for his family. Maybe he truly loved acting. I think that this was an argument that you could have made about Stan Lee. Stan Lee loved his fans, but seeing those really weird, remember we reported on this channel about the really weird like cell phone videos and things of that nature that were filmed by his agent or whatever, where Stan Lee was saying, oh, I'm totally doing everything I want, and then it just looked really weird and creepy. It was difficult to really know the truth. In a statement to the LA Times, Emmett blamed Kent, with whom he is locked in a custody battle over a one-year daughter, Ocean. Through his spokesperson, he characterized Kent's claims as false and a part of a now familiar smear campaign orchestrated by his ex-fiancée to sway the custody dispute. I'm not exactly sure him taking advantage of Bruce Willis would have any effect whatsoever on a custody agreement, but it's interesting. I think, you see some of these comments. Bruce Willis has put in so much effort over the years to entertain us. Now he's got an illness that anyone decent would understand and try not to exploit. I have had family with some form of dementia or Alzheimer's, and it's beyond painful to watch them losing it. Only right thing to do is support the person best you can. Now I'm guessing, as have others, that money is not a problem for him. And now, of course, these exploitations should end, and we should all be supportive. Here's somebody saying, one of my brothers was on a crew that worked a Willis movie. According to my brother, Willis was great, easy to approach, guy even flipped barbecue burgers during break. It's sad to see he diminished. Well, time comes for us all. I think there are some questions. You see this person writing, I'm sure Willis has more than enough money and did not have to continue working. His wife should have told him to stop working and opening himself up to more health risks. But from what all that is written about her, she probably encouraged him. I don't know anything about her. I'm not going to disparage her based on a random internet comment. But, this says, he came out and said Bruce Willis continued to work after his aphasia diagnosis because, quote, he wanted to. His attorney said, I remember, I'm not saying that we know this for sure, that he was there against his will, right? But maybe he wasn't in the right mindset. And, it's tough to say because I think even in the end with Stan Lee, that like deep down, he probably still wanted to be there for his fans, to meet his fans, to see their faces, But then there's that, and then there's whatever the heck was going on there near the end, where they were like forcing the poor old man, to sign autographs for like $40 a pop or something like that. And he didn't even know what was going on. He had one person in his ear telling him what to sign, the other person in the ear telling him where to sign it. Was he even there? Did he even know what was going on? It sure seems like he probably didn't. So with Bruce Willis, it's tough. There's a lot of people that want to get paid, and if he did 24 films in 15 years, that seems like a lot. it doesn't seem like he needed the money, but was he of sound mind when he agreed to do it? Well, hopefully. This, they say it typically occurs after a stroke or a head injury, but can come on gradually from a slow-growing brain tumor or disease that causes progressive, permanent, or degenerative damage, the Mayo Clinic explains, of aphasia. There aren't many Hollywood actors or actresses that kind of have remained clean in my mind in terms of just trying to, shut up and do their job. Bruce Willis seems like it. If he had some sort of sordid past, I don't know about it. And the idea that Hollywood would be taking advantage of an elderly man is 100% on brand for them. I hope that he gets some rest, and that I do thank him for all of his entertainment over the year. Die Hard is a yearly watch around Christmas for me. A lot of his movies are just great, fun movies, and hopefully he can enjoy what time he has left, and no more scummy people take advantage of him. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure you click that red subscribe button down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.